Hello everyone, Jeffery Krueger here. Welcome to my part 1 video on faceting a beautiful white sapphire that I will be doing, and I'm going to make a series of videos until this gem is completely faceted. So I hope you enjoy this, and right now I'm just going to show a little bit about my machine. It's a very solid machine, antique machine that I've completely rebuilt. And I've used it for years, and I really enjoy cutting sapphires on this machine. I use diamond laps because sapphires are a hardness of 9, and you can see that the sapphires come in such a beautiful variety of colors. And sapphires will give generations of wear and tear and withstand just about anything. The only enemy a sapphire has is another sapphire or a diamond. People ask me what the key to good faceting is, and it's just patience and solid holding of the workpiece. Solid holding of the workpiece. Very, very big plus in the fastening department as far as I'm concerned. Right now, speaking of holding the workpiece, I have this stem which attaches to the machine, and I have the gem pre-warming with this microscope light, which is 15 watts with this tin can. I want to warm this gem up. I don't want to get it too hot. I've degreased the gem with denatured alcohol. I've also pre-shaped the gem way more than normal, but for this video I went a little overboard. I'm going to light this alcohol lamp now because I want to, here's my dop wax, and I want to heat up the stem to attach with dop wax the sapphire. I can feel the sapphires getting warmed up nicely there, not too hot. Just get that flame to warm up that stem. Okay, I'm going to test this a little bit here. Okay, you can see the, okay, I'm getting some wax to go in there. This is great. You don't want to overheat the wax. You want to just flow that wax so that you can see. You don't want the wax to start on fire or anything, but you want to, I want to fill that up. I want that to have a nice surface tension. There we go, it's coming up. Okay. I'm going to put it right next to the flame there. Heat that up a little more. There we go. There you go, I can see. See how that has a nice, get that just so it has a really nice, it's going to be fine right there. The gem is very nice and warm. Okay, see how it has that kind of a shiny radius there? Okay, I'm going to, let me shut that alcohol lamp off there. See, it still has that nice shiny radius. Look at that. Okay. Now I'm going to drop this gem on there. It'll flow over a little bit. I'm going to put it right down here. Right down here like that. And I'm just going to position it just a little bit. Okay, that is right now on that stem, and I'm going to let that cool, completely cool. And I know that that is not going to come off until I'm finished fastening that whole crown and want to transfer the stem. How we get that sapphire off that stem, I'll show you in the next videos. So for now, this has been part 1, and I will go over more about the fastening machine and various procedures as we proceed through these series of videos. So thank you very much, and have an excellent day, everyone. Hello everyone, Jeffrey Krueger here. Welcome to part 2 of my series of videos on fastening this beautiful white sapphire. In the first video, we basically just attached the sapphire with the dop wax to the stem. Okay, you can see I have the stem in this block that holds this to the lap at 90 degrees. And first off, I just want to show you how this stem here, this is a different stem. See if I can get this on the video. See that groove cut in there? That's a V groove. And I have ground the end of the set screw that goes to that groove from this Allen wrench here that's in this. And you can see that the stem is actually in this fixture, and there's a stem going up through the center of this. Every time I tighten this down, this set screw, and put it in there, this stem will always be in kind of a different position, and they never really repeat no matter how precision you do that. That's why when I have the stem out of this fixture and I'm putting this stem with the stone on it in here after when I'm going to start fastening the angles, when I first put this in, I give a little bit of pressure to this stem right here in a clockwise direction as I'm tightening this. Later, when you have transferred this stem off of the stone, transferring the stone to another stem, when you put that stem back into this fixture, then you want to hold with tension in a counterclockwise direction as you're tightening up this set screw. That's very important for a really good alignment. Okay, that being said, as you can see, I've tightened this in, and it's right now the surface of the stone and the stem here, the stem is 90 degrees to this lap surface. One of the things that we have with our fastening machine is we have our vernier reading scale right here with all of our angles, very precise here. Any misalignment reading these numbers with a good pair of glasses, you can see. I have this set up at 45 degrees on the dot, and I do this procedure every time that I set up this block to cut the top of the stone on the crown. You can see it has this cheater screw adjustment here. Okay, we know that we're at 45 degrees here, and this gives it another 45, makes it 90 to the lap. But what I have is I have this precision machinist square right here with a beveled edge on it, and I'm going to turn on this microscope light so I get light behind this block. One of the things that they did when they made this very, very square. This block is very, very square to this stem. On both sides, this block is a very square block. Highly impressed how square it is. I've checked it all out for aluminum. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my beveled edge against here, and I can see daylight on the bottom here. So I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to turn this till I see till there's no daylight showing through between my edge of my square and the edge of this square block. So I'm going to turn this cheater screw adjustment until, there we go. Oh man, I see no daylight shining between my beveled edge on my square here and that block. Now I'm going to come over on this side and I'm just going to see the same thing because I know this block is square. Very beautiful. So that is really nice and square and very, very beautiful. I'm just going to, just for fun, I'm going to just kind of look at this right here like this on this back edge here. Right close to the back edge because we know this is distorted from them. Just looks so nice. It's just square all the way around. And that's perfect. So, that being said, this will be the end of my video for part 2 of faceting. And when we get to part 3, we'll have our first lap in there and do some cutting. Thank you very much and have an excellent day. Hello everybody, welcome to part 3 of my series of faceting videos. Okay, one of the things I failed to mention, besides this set screw, there's this 3/4 inch outer nut on this collet here that holds it secure too. And after, the same procedure, you just tighten this and check with the square like in the last video. Okay, this is all squared up and I'm very confident everything's great. You see over here I have this jug that's with the, it says top there if you can read that. That jug right there has water with just a little bit of soap in it, like dishwashing liquid soap, a little bit. And then there's attached underneath this lap, there's a hole with a rubber hose attached to drain into another jug that looks similar. And this is the top jug, and the jug down under the table here is the bottom jug. One of the things you never ever do is mix up the top jug with the bottom jug. The bottom jug is always a bottom jug. Like it's all the mess, from lapping and stuff that drains out into the bottom jug. And this top jug always just gets clean, fresh water with a little bit of detergent, like I said. And then we fill up this tank with this little discharge tube and a little valve that I can open and close right here. And you can see I got a little drip going. Just let her drip a little bit. And then when that gets empty and quits dripping, you can just fill that up. Right now I have a lap in there. It's a 260 lap. I took this stone and for fun, the end of it's all covered with black magic marker, hooray. But I'm going to go ahead and start lowering this very carefully with the micrometer screw head on the top of the mast of this till we hear it start cutting. So let's go and see what happens here. This will be our first. Okay. A little bit more. There we go. Okay, I want to start to cut. There we go. Ooh, I heard that. Hear that a little bit? Okay, that's actually cutting there a little bit. See? Nice. It's a really big surface. You see, I'm trying to keep it. I'm going to show you a little bit here. Let's see. I'm going to slide this. Let's see if you can see where it's. Yeah, you see that where it's a little bit white on the bottom there. A little bit of white. See, from the first time I brought it up. Okay, you can see that's where it's starting to cut. On that edge there. We want that to be all the way across in the middle. I'm going to go ahead and just turn this up a little bit. You never push. See, this is just me just guiding it. Never push down. You let the diamond on the lap do the work. The diamond on the lap. The diamond does the work. You never stress out your that little bit in. You never want to bang and slam either, just ease into everything. I want to go from like the center of the spindle there on that lap, from the center of the spindle, and maybe go this way. I don't really want to ever go way out this way. I always want to go with the flow of the... Let's see what we look like there. Okay, we're almost got that all covered across there. Very small amount. That's almost done already. For that lap, that wasn't so bad, was it? I want to put a nice I gave it a little bit there. I'm going to go ahead and come out here where you can't see. Let's see. I'm going to drop this down, and I'm just going to, I won't even bother with that now. I'm just going to do this till I don't hear anything. When I don't hear anything, then I'm going to turn this off, and we'll put the next lap in. Just take our time and kind of jog this back and forth nice. We'll get a little quieter and a little quieter. I can bring it out to a different part of the lap here and see what happens, and see how I loosen this, brought this out a little bit. Okay, that's probably perfect. Okay, that's beautiful. Alright, I'm going to look at this now. Let you see this. Okay, you can see, oh, there we go. You can see that this, that there, it's a little foam on there. There we go. You can see that that whole bottom has been cut with that lap. So we know that that's parallel to the, this surface here is parallel to that lap. That's beautiful. And you can see the black magic marker around there. So I'm going to go through ahead, and basically what I'll be doing is, when you're faceting, like for instance this has 260 mesh right here, and I'm going to go finer. You're making scratches in the stone. I'm going to go finer and finer laps all the way through to the polish onto this surface. It's just making finer and finer scratches. The most important thing is when I go to the next lap after this, I have to use that lap until I know every mark that this lap made is gone. And my next lap, the only finer scratches that are on the surface of this stone are the mesh of the next lap that I've just used. And you have to have a discipline in knowing that that is a fact before you go to your next lap. And then when you finally get to your final polishing stages, you aren't going to come up with, oh, it's so beautiful and nice and done, but I have this facet with this scratch through there. And believe me, when you get to the final polishing stages, that little scratch looks just like the Grand Canyon. So you just want to take your time and do that just perfect every time. And you'll be satisfied when you start getting to the end of polishing your piece. that being said, thank you very much, and that is the end of this video, and please watch the next videos. Have a great day, everyone. Hello everybody, Jeffrey Krueger here. Welcome to part 4. This is going to be a very short video, but I just wanted to show where I'm at. Right now I've got a 600 mesh lap in the machine right now, and I've gone through from 260, 360 to 600, and my next lap will be 1200, then 3000, then 8000, and I'm going to go beyond that. But for now, the reason I put part 4 in with this is, you see this red needle right here on this indicator? This starts to get where you want to start using the indicator, and you're getting a surface. Right now I can set the 0 here just by moving this. I've got it right at 0 there, and nothing's cutting, and I want to take where I can hear that. See, I'm moving the micrometer stop. Now you hear that a little bit? Okay, I've moved that. You can see it's about thousandths of an inch there, and I can feel that within a thousandths. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it on. And we'll get the fluid going here. And I just want to feel this, and I just go a little like this at a time. I can feel that just a few seconds. This is kind of how I'm cutting it now. You hear that? A little more fluid. There we go. There we go. It gets a little grabby on there, a little bit. That's okay. It's a big surface. Just go a little at a time like that. These indicators are really accurate, and you can trust them. If you have a machine that's really rigid and solid, and your setup is tight. Okay, there we go. I'm right on my 0 in that thousandth of an inch, and I can just feel a smooth little cut fading away there. Like I said, you don't want to push on there. If you push on there the slightest little bit, you might get a angled cut that you don't want. So I'm just being real delicate with it. And that last little bit that I showed you there is, I've already scrubbed and cut a little bit with this lap already, and that's my finish, where I know that's really nice. Okay, now I'm just going to show you the bottom one more time, so you can start to see we're cutting a little bit of a visible window into inside the stone there. After that 1200, it'll start showing up pretty good. Okay, so that's the 600 lap and the end of video 4. So thank you very much, and you have an excellent day, everyone. Hello everybody, Jeffery Krueger here. Welcome to part 5 of my series of faceting videos. Okay, this video in part 5, what's going on here? Okay, I'm going to inform you. Last time we had this angle block here, and we were cutting the main top crown facet, which is right here. Okay, during that video, if you remember correctly, I said there was a little bit of grabbing going on. I could just feel that. Maybe you didn't hear that. I just want to point out, whenever you have screeching, grabbing, anything like that, you know, you're doing something wrong. And that surface across that whole stone is so large, and I expect that. So before I wanted to continue beyond the 1200 lap, I took it out of the block. I put it in the straight stem here. It's at 90 degrees. I put this pin in here to disengage the gear, so this is free. And I'm going to take most of this material, where you see I cut some crown The main crown facets here, I actually just roughed them out a little bit, but most of that's going to get removed because I'm going to round this off. I'm going to round that off right now, tear that down, because what am I doing here, you know? Well, here's what it is. What you see is this variety of beautiful sapphire material, and these are grown in with the Boule process, the Vernelli process, and they cut beautiful stones, very clear, beautiful stones. Under the microscope, you get microscopic layers or lines that can be picked up that shows that was cut, the stone was actually grown with that process. Well, the sapphire that I'm cutting here is just a piece of sapphire that I've got a couple of pieces of that were grown like Mother Nature grows a crystal in a platinum crucible, the Chatham process. And I don't want a stone, just a big monster stone that's just way too big, but with this project that I'm doing right now, this is the prototype ring that is made out of wax, and as you can see, it's going to take a very large stone. I want to go this size or larger for this prototype, and I want to use a Chatham cut sapphire, so that's why we have such a large stone to start out with, which is the piece that I had. And generally when you're faceting, when you're done faceting, you're usually 1/3 the size of what you started with when you're finished faceting. So that's kind of a general rule. So as you can see, I've got this in here now, and I'm going to cut a lot of material off to bring my diameter down closer to what I want. And that is just something I wanted to point out and to let you know where we're at. After I get that rounded, I am going to go back into this block, and I'm going to bring this main table facet into its final polish, and then we'll go back into starting with cutting the mains and finishing up the crown. So that's where we're at right now. So this is the end of part 5, and please tune in to the rest of my series, and I hope you enjoy and have an excellent day. Hello everyone, Jeffery Krueger here. Welcome to part 6 of my faceting videos. I have only shown you the laps up to 1200 mesh, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that because so far I've finished the crown, and that's the very top facet here. I'll show you that in a second. That is polished up until 8,000 mesh, and I want to go up to 14,000 lap, 50,000 lap, and then 100,000 lap. And right now I don't see any scratches, and it's beautifully surfaced with a 10 power loop, because I've just finished off with this 8,000 copper lap that you see that's in the machine right now. I just wanted to discuss that this is a 360 lap, this is the 260 lap, and you can see here that at one time there was a sticker on here that came off over use over time. So every time I buy those laps, these laps are specially made. They have a very accurate consistency of diamond that has nickel electroplated around the diamond from the steel, and the electroplating traps the diamond to the steel plate. And I use these for, all up until 1200 mesh. And so I started out with 260, 360, 600, then 1200, and 1200 gets me to copper laps. Now the lap I had in before this was a 3000 copper lap, and I used that, and then I used the 8000 mesh copper lap, which is in there right now. This lap was created by putting a little bit of 1/4 carat 8000 mesh powder on here with a camel hair brush, and then I used this steel roller that came out of an electric motor that I put a little piece of shaft through on this vice grip, and I rolled that in very carefully, pushed that through the surface very well into the lap. And I use a little bit of olive oil when I'm faceting, and when I season this lap, I took this agate, and I made sure after I did all that I went through over and over again, working the 8000 mesh into the copper. Now I see these archaeologists, they always say, oh my God, look at this beautiful stonework we found in this dig, and they didn't all they had was copper, the tools, they didn't have iron. Well, copper is magic when it comes to working with stone and faceting, because it has the ability, when you push a diamond or whatever material you want to use as an abrasive into the surface of copper, it has the ability to squeeze out around the diameter of whatever your material you're rolling in, and come back on itself, and it holds the material. So the diamond is charged into the surface of this copper, and it's very amazing. So my next lap after this 8000 lap is going to be my 14,000 lap, which is the lap that I made in one of my videos. It's made out of a hard maple, and it's been boiled in wax and charged with diamond, 14,000, and the wax suspends the diamond for the next polishing procedure. So I just wanted to touch base on a little bit of those statistics. Right now, hello everyone, Jeffery Krueger here. I wanted to show you this part 7 video. This has the maple lap that I made. There's 2 other videos concerning this lap, and you can look them up. The title of one is Wow, Diamond Hard Maple Polishing Lap. The title of the other video is Gems / Making a Lap for Faceting Technique by Jeffery A. Krueger. And those 2 videos have to do with actually making this lap. Now, as you saw in the last video, video 6, the last lap I had in here was with 8000 mesh. This lap right here that I made deals solely with 14,000 mesh. And here's that crown facet right here that I'm going to do now. This is what it sounds like and looks like. A little bit of a scrub like that. See that? Isn't that beautiful? That wax within that wood suspends that 14,000 diamond. I just go a little bit like that at a time. And then I add a little bit of olive oil with a camel hair brush, and then I repeat this until I know that I feel that 14,000 has sufficiently been scrubbed the 8,000 off. And then I proceed to 50,000 and then 100,000 with 2 different laps. So that is the end of part 7. Very short video, but this is a very important part of the series. So thank you very much, and have an excellent day, everyone. Hello everyone, Jeffery Krueger here. Welcome to video 8 of Faceting with Jeffery A. Krueger. Thank you for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoy this series of videos, and maybe you'll learn something, maybe you won't, but it's a lot of fun. This stone here, This Sapphire has everything completed on the crown, and the girdle is all polished. I always polish the girdles, and any chance for a photon to be reflected back in, that's good enough for me. Save a little color or whatever. So next I will be transferring this to another stem, and I will be cutting the pavilion side of this beautiful sapphire. I'm real happy with it, and I can't wait to see how it turns out. So I hope you can join me for video 9, and thank you very much, and have an excellent day, everyone. Hello everyone, Jeffrey Krueger here. Welcome to video 9 of my series of videos of fastening this gem with me. And right now I'm at the point where you can see that I've transferred to another stem, and I'm just going to show you this is very, very true. Let me see here if I can just... That would be waving all over the place. It looks just like one rod. Really nice. And you can see the grooves are all lined up. When you get a faceting machine, you have one of these fixtures like this that you get that are like 2 V blocks with something to align the grooves. And this one here, what I did was I just put 2 stems together, and I did it a couple of times, and it just wasn't quite what I wanted for trueness. It's probably a really good fixture, but it's been laying around for longer than I've been alive, and just needs some rework. So someday I will put this in a surface grinder and grind it in line and go over all the parts, maybe add a few things and get that up to par. But for now I have to confess that I used a watchmaker's lathe to get this together so true, and I had to play a special trick. The alcohol lamp isn't really hot enough. I have to do things kind of quick. I have to kind of warm up the gem and get that dop wax flowing just right, and I use a propane torch instead of the alcohol lamp. You can see there's a little gob of wax here from gravity, and but this is well dopped, and it's against that finished surface. So what we want to do is we want to put this back in the machine with this finished surface. And like I told you before, when I put the other stem in, what I want to do is this is really important, there's a groove there with a set screw, and I tightened this set screw, and I did it in a clockwise fashion. I'll show you here. Okay, one thing to remember is put the right end in. If you fasten enough gemstones, you'll probably take the wrong stem off and have the wrong one in the machine, and there you sit. But anyways, I'm going to very carefully, I've got this, I know that I have this, just a minute here, feel there. Line up this, there we go. Okay, I have that set screw here in the groove, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to very carefully put a little pressure right like this in a counterclockwise direction as I tighten the set screw. So I mean, it's just pressure, and I'm tightening. I got the set screw tight. Now what I want to do is I want to tighten up this collet right here with this big wrench, but you want to do that with you have the gear in the freewheeling position, and you put your hand right on the gear. Don't ever use the index divider stop to tighten this collet. You put your hand right on the gear with that big wrench there, so you don't damage your index gear. But anyways, now I have this stem that I take another visual at it and make sure I've got the right one end in. So right now I have this end in, and this is the finished end the crown side, and this is the side I'm going to cut the pavilion. So I want to get rid of this stem. It's very simple. I will just clamp onto this with the pliers where my fingers are, and I'll take a torch and I'll just heat this, and the heat will transfer just to the wax, and I will yank it off. At that moment it'll come right off, and then leave it alone and everything will be fine, and I will facet the other end of that stone. So when I have this stone finished, how we get the stone off of this stem is very simple. I put it in the freezer for 15 minutes, and then I'll be able to pop it off with my hands, and that's the very first time I get to see the beauty of the gem. So stay tuned in my next video, video 10, and you will see how I see the gem for the first time after I've finished it. So thank you very much, and have a great day, everyone. Hello everyone, Jeffrey Krueger here. The sapphire is all faceted. I just took this out of the freezer. See how it's kind of frosty? And that'll come right off that stem. Now, when I dopped this, I had it in a jeweler's lathe. So the dop was, this one was in the chuck on the headstock, and this was in the tailstock where I melted the dop wax, and I had to use a propane torch because the chuck was made out of metal and it wasn't insulated like the clothespin, so I had to control the heat, and then I had to do a little trick to warm up the gem to get it to work, and it was very successful. I finished the back. Well, anyways, it's real frosty. I'm going to pull it off before it cools down here. There. Oh, look at that. See, you put it in the freezer and it comes right off that dop. Now I have to clean it up a little bit. Get some of that wax off there. I have some, there's a lot of wax on there. I'm going to use this cloth with some denatured alcohol here. I'll take a look at that gem. Yeah, I just had to I had to add a half a degree to my magic numbers for brilliant, for doing sapphires, and take away a half a degree on my, I added a half on my crown and took away a half on my pavilion girdle facets. And so the crown got an extra half a degree, and let me just wipe that off. Boy, there's a lot on there. Let's see here. Let me get in my tweezers. There we have it. Let me turn on this light here. A bit more. Get it up close. This is what brings me to the faceting table, this brilliance. Brilliance. I wish I could film this better, but let me get this. This is just full of fire and everything. I'm not getting it. I should have practiced maybe with another one before with the lighting and stuff, but this is absolutely beautiful. And I really had no problems at all. Everything went real smooth. And let me turn it around here. Look at some natural color coming out of there. this camera. See that? It's just absolutely beautiful. It's just the way it's supposed to be. And if you get a faceting machine, get one that is veneer reading on the protractor at least every 15 minutes, you know, for quarter, half, and 3/4 of a degree. Because the first sapphires I cut when I first started out 30 years ago are nothing like these white sapphires today, because I wrote down everything and tweaked it a half or a quarter of a degree here or whatever. And it really makes a difference in that refraction. So I really hope you enjoyed my series of videos. I really enjoyed cutting this gem and having fun sharing this. And for you facetors out there, I just want to give you a little, if you want a little challenge. You know what a chessboard is? Yeah, put 64 separate compound angles on a square, just like a chessboard. That's a lot of fun. Anyways, it's almost New Year's in about a week, or less than a week, and Happy New Year, everybody, and thank you very much for tagging along with this beautiful sapphire that I cut, and have an excellent new year and day. Hello everyone, Jeffery Krueger here. What you're looking at is the final product of the 27.5 carat white sapphire that I faceted in my series on my page. And here's the finished ring that I made, and it's all burnished in, and there's no prongs on it or anything. That's the way I like it. It's a little binged up. I've been wearing it for quite some time, and decided to make a video and show that off because it's very comfortable, very nice ring. And I also mounted the ruby that was in my video called Birth of a Ruby by Jeffery A. Krueger, and you can look that up on my channel and see that. Well, I made that into a ring as well, and I shot a video of that earlier today, and I'm gonna upload both these videos. So that's what I'm up to today, and I hope you all have an excellent day, and that you enjoyed seeing the final product after the gem has been cut and made into a fine piece of jewelry. So catch you later. Bye.